There comes a moment in every person's life when clarity arrives not as a gentle whisper but as a cold, undeniable truth. And often that truth enters through the behavior of another human being. Someone who forces us to confront what we've been avoiding. Not everyone who stands beside us is meant to walk our path with us. We who aim to live with discipline and inner steadiness cannot afford to be shaped by the wrong influences. As Epictetus warned, you become what you give your attention to, and sometimes the most dangerous person is not the one who openly harms us, but the one who quietly corrodes our inner strength. So here is the behavior, the single action that reveals when someone must be removed from your life. They repeatedly disturb your inner balance and expect you to tolerate it. This kind of person does not need to raise their voice, break promises or openly betray you. Their harm is subtle. They drain your peace. They provoke unnecessary chaos. They behave with a disregard for your emotional boundaries while expecting your silence, your patience, your understanding. They live with turbulence inside them and they demand that you carry it with them. A true Stoic recognizes this pattern immediately because it is the very opposite of virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The nearer a person is to calmness of mind, the nearer they are to strength." Someone who repeatedly disrupts your calmness is not just hurting you, they are pulling you away from strength itself. These people thrive in cycles. They create tension. You absorb it. They return with another storm. You endure it again. And slowly, without noticing, you begin to lose the very qualities you spent years cultivating. Your discipline weakens. Your clarity blurs. Your emotional control fractures. When someone drags you into their chaos over and over again, your life becomes a reaction instead of a choice. Your mind. But here is the truth the world avoids saying out loud. You are allowed to walk away from anyone who forces you to abandon who you are becoming. Stoicism does not preach coldness. It preaches responsibility. And the greatest responsibility we hold is the guardianship of our mind. Seneca wrote that a wise person spaces even their friendships wisely, choosing companions who elevate their character, not weaken it. Cutting someone out of your life is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of discipline, an act of preservation, an act of refusing to hand your peace over to someone who cannot carry their own. We are not here to fix every broken soul. We are not here to absorb every emotional storm. We are not here to lose ourselves trying to please someone who does not value steadiness, virtue, or growth. If a person repeatedly harms your inner peace and refuses to take responsibility, then the decision is already made. You simply need to act on it. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with the calm detachment of someone who finally understands their worth. Because once you remove the wrong energy, the right life begins. And once you reclaim your inner quiet, your strength returns with a force you forgot you had. We guard our minds. We protect our peace. We choose the people who walk beside us, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. And sometimes wisdom whispers one simple message. Let them go. The discipline of holding your inner fire steady. There comes a moment in every person's life when the world demands a reaction. When someone provokes you. When a situation pressures you. When chaos knocks at your door hoping you'll lose control and give it exactly what it wants. Your peace. But true strength, Stoic strength, is not measured by how loudly you respond, but by how steadily you hold your inner fire. Their emotions pull them like strings, and they obey without question. Anger commands them. Fear pushes them. Ego misleads them. But the disciplined mind, the trained mind, the watched mind burns differently. It doesn't flare. It doesn't scatter. It doesn't lash out. It holds its flame the way a warrior holds his weapon, with precision, with calm, and with purpose. This discipline is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about refusing to let the world decide the temperature of your soul. It's understanding that your inner world is the only territory you truly control and abandoning that territory, letting it fall to impulses, reactions, and external noise is the quietest form of self-betrayal. The Stoics taught that anyone can appear strong for a moment. Anyone can pretend to be unbothered. But the person who remains steady during uncertainty, who keeps his thoughts clear during pressure, who chooses reason over reaction, that person has achieved a level of power most never touch. Because discipline is not built in moments of comfort. It's built in moments that test your patience, challenge your ego, and tempt you to abandon your principles for a quick emotional win. Every time you hold your tongue when your anger wants to speak, every time you pause instead of explode, every time you choose clarity over chaos, you're sharpening yourself. You're proving to yourself, not the world, that you are not ruled by impulses, moods, or other people's actions. You are ruled by your mind. And that is the essence of inner superiority. Not being louder, but being harder to shake. Not being feared, but being immovable. Not burning out but burning with intention. Remember this. The world tests you not to break you but to reveal you. And if you can hold your inner fire steady, calm, controlled, unwavering, then nothing outside you can pull you off your path. This is the discipline that separates the distracted from the focused, the impulsive from the wise, and the ordinary from the truly powerful. The power of choosing slow growth in a fast world. Most people rush. They want results overnight, transformation without discipline, wisdom without struggle. They chase speed because it gives the illusion of progress. Like running on a treadmill and mistaking motion for direction. But the Stoic path has always been different. It's not about how fast you rise. It's about how deeply you build. Slow growth is not weakness. It is the most underestimated form of strength. Because slow growth forces you to confront the truth. You can't hide behind speed. When you grow slowly, every insecurity, every habit, every flaw rises to the surface. You're forced to face yourself. Not just who you pretend to be, but who you truly are underneath the noise. That's why fast growth breaks people. They rise too quickly, untouched by struggle, unsharpened by resistance. They reach heights their character was never prepared to hold. And when pressure comes, they collapse not from the weight, but from the emptiness inside. Slow growth builds the opposite. It builds depth. It builds discipline. It builds the kind of inner foundation that can't be shaken by failure, rejection, or external judgment. When you move slowly, you learn to act with intention instead of impulse. You start recognizing patterns in your behavior. You learn how to detach, how to observe, how to understand your own mind. You stop reacting emotionally to every small challenge because you've learned something most people never do. Growth is not a moment. It's a mindset. The world tries to pull you into its pace. It tells you to hurry, compete, compare. It wants you exhausted, always chasing, always doubting yourself. But the Stoic understands a deeper truth. Your life is not a race. It's a craft. And every day is a chance to carve yourself into something stronger, wiser, quieter, and more resilient. The person who grows slowly becomes unbreakable because they've strengthened each part of themselves. Focus, patience, emotional control, clarity, one layer at a time. They've earned every step. They've suffered for it. And what you suffer for becomes part of you. Fast growth makes you impressive. Slow growth makes you dangerous, calm, strategic, deliberate. Remember this. A tree that grows too fast snaps in the storm. A tree that grows slowly survives centuries. Don't be ashamed of your pace. Respect it. Guard it. Because while others chase shortcuts, you're building something they can't see. An inner world that time, failure, or chaos cannot destroy. When someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, you must let them go. There is a quiet moment in every person's life when they realize this truth. Not everyone who stands beside you is meant to walk with you. Some people don't break you through chaos or conflict. They break you through erosion. Slow, subtle, almost invisible. And the first thing they erode is your boundaries. A boundary is not a wall. It is a form of self-respect woven into the edges of your life. Epictetus reminded us that no person is free who is not master of themselves. And you cannot be the master of yourself if you allow others to step into your mind, your peace, or your emotional space without permission. People show you who they are not just by what they do, but by what they refuse to stop doing. The one who interrupts you every time you speak. The one who jokes at your expense and calls it not a big deal. The one who pushes, tests, and slowly expands the limits of what they're allowed to do around you. It's never one moment. It's a pattern. A pattern that grows because you keep giving them space to grow in. Stoic thinkers often emphasize the discipline of drawing the line not out of anger but out of necessity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in the imagination of others." And when someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries, that is exactly what you risk. Losing pieces of your life to someone who has never earned the right to shape it. We must learn something powerful. Something that only comes with quiet self-awareness. A boundary ignored once is a warning. A boundary ignored twice is a decision. A boundary ignored constantly is a verdict. And the verdict is this. They do not value the version of you that values yourself. This is why we must sometimes walk away. Not loudly, not dramatically, but decisively. Cutting someone off doesn't mean you hate them. It means you refuse to participate in your own decline. It means you choose to protect the space where your character is built, where your discipline grows, where your clarity settles, where your peace lives. Some people only understand distance. Some people only respect what they lose. Some people only recognize your worth when they no longer have access to it. And that's fine. We do not cut them out to punish them. We cut them out to protect what we are becoming because the truth is simple and sharp. A person who refuses to respect your boundaries is a person who refuses to respect you. And life is too short and your mind is too sacred to let that kind of influence live inside your world. Let them go. We rise by what we remove. When someone thrives on chaos and pulls you into it, there are people who carry storms inside them, unresolved anger, hidden insecurity, unexamined impulses. And instead of calming themselves, they spread the storm to anyone who stands close enough. These are the people who turn small issues into battles, disagreements into wars, and everyday life into emotional turbulence. A Stoic mind learns to recognize this pattern quickly. Seneca once warned that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, but the chaotic person suffers in both. And they make sure you do, too. Watch how they speak. Watch how they move. Watch how every conversation circles back to drama, conflict, suspicion, or negativity. It is not random. It is a cycle, one they are addicted to. Chaos becomes their comfort. And if you stay long enough, it becomes your normal, too. People like this don't just drain your peace. They reprogram your emotional baseline. They make you anxious in moments that should feel calm. They make you defensive in moments that should feel open. They make you reactive in moments that require clarity. The Stoics taught us that a disturbed mind cannot see truth. And when someone constantly pulls you into their inner storms, you lose sight of your own truth, your priorities, your values, your direction. Get exclusive content and deeper insights. Join our membership today. Link in the description. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the Stoic Verse for more wisdom to guide your journey.